Hey everyone! Today I was thinking I wanted to play a little bit with my scraps, and I was thinking, wonder what most people do with papers that they create that they don't love. Do they throw them away, or do they paint over them or cut them up and reuse them? My guess is that most of you probably do the latter. You probably paint over it or cut them up and use them for something else. And that's what I was doing with the pages that we're going to go through today. A few of the pages, not all of them. This is my All Because of Scraps journal. This is the smaller one. And then there's a journal underneath that I've been going back to that I started a long time ago and kind of going over some pages I didn't like. So today's video is just going to be about what do you do with something when you don't love it? Well, you fix it. All right, so let's get started. Last place we left off in our little All Because of Scraps journal is this scrap page here. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this, so I don't need to go back through and show you any of this, but there's a flip through somewhere along the way of this, and when I actually finish the book, I'll do another flip through. In this book, this is the bigger one, I'm pretty sure that I showed you the last few pages. I'll turn them open just so if you're new, you can get an idea. Pretty sure I've shown these. I just create pages from my scraps. So what I've got here is a page that I put just some cutouts, things I cut by hand, things I cut with punches, and these are a combination of papers I don't love and papers I do love. Combining the two created something that I really love. I really love this page, first of all, so I could leave it just like this, but I also glued them on in such a way that I could peel these off and I could use them in other work if I want to. But I just think they're pretty like this, so I just think I'll leave them. The next page is a combination of things that I don't love and that I do love. I really love how these turned out, like a couple of these papers in here. This one here especially, right there. I don't love that, but I love the combination of these together. So I think this is really cute. This just made me happy. It was fun. I got to use my punches and I didn't waste the paper. I got to use it for something. This is the same thing, a combination of papers I did like with some I didn't like so much. I didn't really like this one as much, but I love the combination here. I think the next page is just playing around with scraps, getting them put down on the page, and then just drawing some flowers. So that's not really the love, don't love, but I still could apply the same principle to this page. This was just using extra pieces that were on my table. I just made an I love flowers just with shapes that were already there on my table. I didn't cut them. I did use some extra punches that I had punched out and didn't use. But these were just scraps that I had not used, and I just went ahead and put them on the page. This is a combination of papers and some drawing and some painting. This is just an envelope page. I don't know why I did this. I think I was just in the mood to have fun with it, so I just put a little piece of paper behind the window and then put some butterflies as if they kind of escaped through the other window. This page could be considered unfinished, but it also could be considered finished, depending on how you look at it. This was a shape that was on my palette paper. The excess paint on the palette dries, and then I use the paper. This was a shape all by itself. I cut it out exactly the way I saw it. I did not alter this in any way. I thought that was really pretty though. And then this is where I left off playing. I had some leftover pieces. So I may create in this book today. This is the Delusions Creative Journal. I have only done a few pages in here. I don't love a lot of them because when I first started creating in this, I was just practicing with inks and spraying them, and I didn't like the way they turned out. This was the case with this page, but I have since come back in and done some painting and some oil pastels and things like that on the page, and I really love how it's turned out, so I'm very happy with this now. I don't have a before to show you. Just take my word for it. I didn't like it. The date that I did the page that I don't like was in 2013. That's how long ago I started this book. And in 2022 is when I actually made a page I liked. So this one was created in 2013. Also, it's just inks and stencils. And I may go over this page too, but I still kind of like it okay, so I may not. I don't know. This one I'll probably redo. This one I'll be redoing. This one too. I'm trying to get to the one that I did. I'll do a flip through of this book at some point, but right now I'm trying to find the page that I redid. This one. I didn't like this page, but I came back in with some scraps and paint, and I just love it now. I don't know, something about this just really makes me happy, so I love it. This is where I left off, and I haven't touched the rest of the book because I got discouraged by the first few pages I tried. And that was back before I was in the mindset that I am now of, if you don't like it, do it over or add to it, keep going, keep layering. To me, everything had to work out. You know, the first time I did it, it had to be perfect, it had to look good, I had to like it. Little did I know, you know, I learned a lot since then. One thing I've learned is just keep going, eventually you'll love it. And if you don't, you just tear it up and make something else. All right, so I've got a bunch of scraps sitting over here. I just went through my scrap box and I pulled out a lot of papers that I don't love, and I pulled out a lot of the starter cards where you start something and you don't finish it and it just isn't pretty and you don't love it. There's some that are pretty. This is what I've been using to create those little pieces with papers I don't love and papers I do love. So I just pulled out a bunch. There's a combination here of both. And I've got a bunch of punches out there behind me, and I'll pull those in when it's time. But for right now, what I'm going to do is just go through these papers and pull out a few so that we don't spend a lot of time going through each paper. Okay, I've gone through my papers, and I've got a whole slew of punches in front of me. Whatever punches you have that you like to work with, you can combine anything you want to combine. I'm just going to go through and just try to make a few of the little shapes. I want my big flower for this one. And I turn my punch over so I can see where it's lined up. And then I'm just gonna punch wherever suits me. And the center's not gonna be seen very much, so I kinda want some stuff on the sides. And there's my flower. And then I want a smaller flower out of this. Put that there. And then for this, I'm just gonna cut a little circle. Let's see what it looks like right there. Can't say that I like that very much. I think this circle is too big, so I want something smaller. So let's just cut it by hand. Okay, put that there. Ah, there we go. I like that better. And then I want to put it inside maybe one of these circles. Let's go ahead and use this pink area. There we go. Now I've got a couple I didn't really like and a couple I really like, and together I really love them. So let's go ahead and glue it together. These would make really cute embellishments for journal pages, the outside of journals, the covers, anything you want it to be really cute. Okay, we have one made. Super simple, easy, and just so much fun. And then when you put a group on the page together, they just look so cute. So I'm going to continue on and just do a few more. Now we have two. Very cute. So you get the idea with the punches, and then when you get to a point where you don't want to use a punch and you want to use a paper, you just cut out what you want. I'm just going to cut out a circle. And I don't want a perfect shape, so it's okay if it's a little wonky because that's the thing I love about it. And then I'll use this piece on something because I think that's really cute. I think the ones that I cut freehand are my favorites because they're the cutest to me. And the goal for me is to just be able to see a little bit of the one beneath it. Doesn't have to be a lot, just enough to pique your interest. Doesn't have to be anything that makes any sense. It doesn't even have to be straight. So this is one of my favorite ones because it's cut freehand. These are rather chunky. These are experiments that did not turn out well. And I thought I would make something with these, although they're rather thick. Let's see, let's find a shape. Let's just draw a circle with the shape that we've already cut. So now that's what that looks like. And let's go ahead and make another one. And let's use a smaller circle. So if you don't want to freehand, you can trace. This is kind of freehand because I'm not really following my line, but I wanted to show you that you could do that as well. So those I like together, but I need something in between to break this up. So I'm just going to find something that I like that will look good in between. Let's try this piece. Let's try this one. Oh yeah, that is interesting. Now, take a look at that. Isn't that cool? You have no idea that was a Christmas tree. It looks better than this. But this one, it gives it a psychedelic, like, I don't know, something from the 60s kind of vibe. I like it. We're going with it. And now I've got a Christmas tree that turned out really raunchy, made into something else that I think looks really cute. I'm probably going to leave this way because I really like the white dots. These are puffy dots that stick up, but these are really thick, so they're not going to stay down very easy, so I'm just going to clip them down real quick. Here's one I really don't like. I think we need something else here. I like that, but I don't think this one's going to work. I think I found what I want to use. I like that much better. Okay, so sometimes it takes a few minutes to find something you like together when you find a hate that you gotta put with a hate and a like and a like. Okay, I have 13 that we made today, and then I have some extras from when I was making them before. These are the extras, and I'll have these if I want to use those. Okay, so these are the ones we made today. Let's go through those real quick, just so you can see what they look like. Might be my favorite. I like this one too. And I really like this one. I tend to like the freeform shaped ones better than the ones that the punches were used on, just because I like that organic look, but they're all cute. I really wanted to use this. I think I'm going to try to use this in one, and then I'm going to make a butterfly or two because we need a couple butterflies. It's the next day already. Aren't you impressed with my ability to just make the day just go like that? I've gone ahead and put away all my punches. I did keep out the butterflies, and I want to create a couple of butterflies using the big punch and then adding some little tiny circles that we cut out for their wings. And what I've done is put away all my scraps, and I kept out a few that I just don't like with a couple I do like. Don't like this one. This is one of those flubs that I am using to create something I do like. And I'm going to make a big butterfly out of this right here. Oh, and I flower. I found that in there and I just thought, I want that over there. I don't know why. I probably won't use it. You know me and flowers. It's hard to get away from flowers. Let's go ahead and do a big butterfly out of this one. And I want this area right here. So I've got to cut this away to get to it. See, as a whole, I don't love this paper, but look at the butterfly. That's very pretty. I could leave it just like that and be happy. In fact, I might. So I'm going to cut another one. It's amazing what little pieces of the paper will do. Cut out. It's just so cute. And the deli paper doesn't cut as well. I really like that big black blotch there. Didn't cut very well. Oh well. You know, the best way to get this to cut well is to put your paper on something heavier. Like if I was to take this paper and lay it on paper that's, you know, a little bit heavier, put them together like this and then put your punch in, it might punch better. But we lost our little antenna. That's okay. Let's try out that theory. If I put these two together, it's worked before. Let's see if it works today. Yeah, that works much better. Now I have the antenna. All right, I have finished 3 more butterflies, and what I did with this one, the one that had his little antenna chopped off, I just glued it to the one that I cut out the second time, showing you how to get a better cut. I just glued them together so that he looked like one whole butterfly. These could be carried further. You could doodle on these, you could stencil on these, you can do all kinds of things just to embellish these and make these cuter. This one, I added some black rings and dots to the butterfly. When we left off, all I had was the purple on there and the little centerpiece. So we have a little stack of our embellishments. So I'm gonna go get my scrapbook journal and bring it back over here. And we're just gonna put these down on a page. Okay, so on these pages, you can see that I didn't stay in the parameters of the punch. I added it over to the edge and let it overlap. And these were some organic cut pieces. And then I mixed circles and squares and just did whatever made me happy. I used some scrapbook paper for those. The butterflies, just a combination of like and don't like, and I really love this together. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if we can come up with a little look that we like here. That's the layout I've decided on. And I'm going to do like I did on my other pages. I'm just going to glue the center. That way I can always pull these out and use them in other projects if I want to. I doubt I will. I'll probably just leave them in my scrap journal because this is what this is all about. This journal is all about using up my scraps. All right, I'm going to set this to the side for a second. And I'm going to pull my little scrap journal in, and I really wanted to use this flower, so I'm going to glue the flower in here and a couple more of the little scrap embellishments that we made. This is one of the stamps I carved. This may not make any sense to anybody, but I love it. That's all that matters. I love it. And I can put a word here if I want to. But that's so cute. All right, is there anything I want here? Let me check around real quick before we stop. I want to use the other little butterflies that I cut out and didn't use. We'll put them in here. Okay. That's all I'm going to do this page. I could go further, but I don't want to. The whole point of this video was just to show you how you can take something you don't love and turn it into something you love. And this is just the book that I'm going to house those in instead of throwing them in a box somewhere. Now when I look through my book, I get to see all my pretty little scraps that I put together. And I know when I look at it that I never did love this one or this one, but I love this as a whole now. It's so cute. All right, that's going to be all today. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you use up some of your scraps and make some pretty little embellishments, whether you use scissors to cut out your shapes or punches or both. I think that hand cut is much, much prettier in my opinion, but the punches are really cute too, you know, and I have them, so I might as well utilize them. All right, I'll talk to you later. Have a great whatever it is. Bye-bye. Here's a little bonus for you guys. I was putting my stuff away and I found this tag that I had pulled out to use to cut with my punches, but I didn't. And I thought, I'm going to go ahead and finish the tag with some leftover scraps here and maybe one of my embellishments. So let's just do that, and then I'll end the video and we'll see you in the next one.